I'm Nathan. You're listening to the first ever show of Football Team Talk. It comes at a busy time as we are a week and a half through NFL free agency. Let's start the show off by talking about the Patriots, who have loaded up on big name players. They've completely gone against their blueprint, which is spend low, build through the draft, as they've gone out and got Stephen Gilmore from Buffalo on a $65 million 5-year deal. They traded for Brandon Cooks. They gave their first-round pick away along with a fourth-round pick. And I think they received the 6th-round pick back. And they re-signed Dante Hightower, which wasn't that surprising of a move. But they really have added big-name players to their already fantastic lineup. And it really points to Belichick wanting another ring before he retires. And wanting to get another ring with Brady. And it shows that he's getting ready to retire because this is completely against his blueprint, completely against what he does. And this Patriots team is going to be very, very hard to beat. There's going to be few teams who are going to be able to compete with them, few teams that are going to be able to keep up with them in the game. One team, the only team really in that division that's really going to be able to compete is the Miami Dolphins. You look at the Jets, I don't trust them to be a good team this year, not at all. I don't trust the Bills. I do trust the Dolphins. They've got an offense. They've got a very good running back who ended the season very well. Their quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, he was he didn't start the season too good. But he ended the season very well. And they've got a good wide receiving corps with Jarvis Landry and Devontae Parker. They've got a revamped O-line. And then they traded for Julius Thomas. And that was really a big deal for them because they're going to be able to get a tight end who you've got to watch out for. And that defense also, that front seven is very good. They had a Lawrence Timmons there to go along with Kink Alonso in that middle linebacking group. And the Ndamukong Suh and Cameron Wake, they form an unbelievable defensive line. They have one of the best defensive lines in the league. And they can really get their hands on opposing quarterbacks. They can really rush the quarterback. They can do it well. Although their secondary is the rocky point and in this team. They've got Xavier Howard back here who had a fair season They need to definitely add some pieces back there, and they're very lucky. They got a good draft this year. There's going to be defensive backs who will go in the 3rd round, who in any other draft might go in the 1st round or the 2nd round, and they're going to be able to get a good defensive back who will be able to start day one for them. And that's a team that can really compete with them. But right up north from them are the Jaguars, who added Calais Campbell and A.J. Bayou, 2 big-name players, 2 of the best defenders in this free agent class. And on paper, this defense is one of the best in the league, really. But you pair those 2 up with Malik Jackson. Last year they signed him. Telvin Smith in the linebacking group, and then Jalen Ramsey, who was runner-up in the Defensive Rookie in the Year award. So that's a very, very good defense on paper. Now, can they translate it to production on the field? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see that next year. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think they'll be able to get something going defensively, but let's stay in the state of Florida with Tampa Bay, who, in my mind, they were one of the best teams when it comes to free agent signings. They signed Deshaun Jackson, one of my favorite signings in all of free agency so far. They added a deep threat to their team. They've got Mike Evans, who will get double teamed every game because they didn't have another guy who could really burn you the other way. And so Deshaun Jackson is that guy. He's going to be a great number 2 receiver for them. He's really going to be productive. He's Jameis Winston. He's going to have an even better year than he did last year. And then they added Chris Baker for that D-line. And that defense, they look good. You got Gerald McCoy there, Levante David, Noah Alexander. and then Vernon Hargreaves, last year's first round pick. A very good defense, a young defense, very good defense, along with a very good offense. That's a team to look out for. On the Falcons, they added Dontari Poe, and they're a team that didn't lose much, guys. They lost very little, and they gained a lot in Dontari Poe. They gained a guy who's going to rush the passer, who's going to stuff the run, who's going to do a lot on that D-line, and that's a major piece. They've got a great secondary right now with Desmond Trumford back there. They got a good defense, and that offense is one of the best in the league, of course. But I want to go to the AFC North, to the Browns mainly, who added Kenny Britt, Kevin Zeitler, and J.C. Treader. The Kevin Zeitler, in my mind, is one of the best guards in the game, and he's really going to help that O-line even more with Joe Thomas on that O-line. They've got a very, very good O-line that lots of NFL teams would love to have. And that's kind of a building block to a franchise, is an O-line. Because if you can't protect your quarterback, you're not going to be able to pass your ball. If you can't block for your running back, you're not going to have a good running back. You're not going to have a good running game. And they've really got a foundation to the franchise over there, although they did lose Terrell Pryor, who had a great year last year, to the Redskins. So the receiving corps might not be that good, but they've got a lot of picks in this draft. They can go a lot of different ways with those picks. And in that division, the Bengals, who lost Zeitler and Whitworth, they're the biggest losers in all of free agency right now because of what they lost. They've got a O-line that has no real impact players, and they're going to have a very hard time in the run game, and they're going to have a very hard time protecting Andy Dalton. And they might be in a little bit of trouble on that offense, but the Ravens, who lost a couple of good pieces, but they re-signed Brandon Williams, their number one priority, and they went out, they got Tony Jefferson, the safety from Arizona. So they're a team to watch. They're a team who can come out and do some good things next year. But the biggest losers, of course, Bengals, the Packers, who lost Carlos Hyde, T.J. Lang, Eddie Lacy, Jared Cook. They might have a little bit of a rocky year because of what they lost compared to what they've gained. So in the Cowboys especially, their secondary is very, very iffy right now with Barry Church, Morris Claiborne, and Carr all leaving. They've got very few guys who can come out and really be starters in that secondary. So look for them to draft a defensive back. And Ronald Leary on that O-line, who started some games for them, who lost them to Denver. So that's a guy to watch. They still got a great offense. Their defense right now is very, very iffy. But the biggest winners in free agency right now is the New England Patriots, of course, with all the pieces they added. And the Buccaneers, in my mind, they had one of the best free agencies. And the Giants, who they re-signed Jason Pierre-Paul, and they went on to grab Brandon Marshall. So now you got Odell Beckham on one side of the field, and then you got Brandon Marshall on the other side of the field. That's a very good wide receiving corps. They're going to do a lot of good things. And once they add a running back to that offense, that can be a potent offense, and you got a potent defense already. So that's a team to watch, and a team that really can make a run at the Super Bowl right now. Jonathan Hankins is a guy that I'd really watch out there. He's still on the market. He wants $10 million a year. I don't think he's going to get that right now, this late in free agency, but he's going to get lots of money. I don't know where he's going to go. Oakland Raiders, in my mind, seems like a good idea, though they're not too interested. Adrian Peterson, that's one of the most interesting situations right now, is where he's going to go. He could go to Seattle right now. He could go to Oakland. He could go to the Packers. That's very, very interesting what's going to happen. Every second these guys stay on the market, their price is dropping. And they're going to receive less and less money the longer they stay on the market. So TJ McDonald, the safety for the Rams, I don't know where he's going to go. He could resign with the Rams, but right now that's iffy. LeGarrette Blount, he's a good running back in my mind. Probably one of the better out there. and he's a guy that's still got a lot of years on him. He can really be a good running back for any team who grabs him. And Tony Romo is one of the most interesting things out there. He could go to the Houston Texans, which is a team that needs a quarterback, obviously. They got a lot of pieces. They got a great defense, great wide receiving core, good running back. So he could go there, he could go to Denver, but all of those situations are interesting to watch. And that is it for now. The show is a wrap. Please subscribe and stay tuned for next week's episode. You are listening to Football Teen Style.